is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Oh, hello.
Well, let's get back to it.
The hottest summer on record, as in ever, has ended in a deluge.
Oh, no.
After having not enough water, now we've got too much of it. You believe that? But there's been no change to the 3 hosepipe bans in place across the UK, despite 3 inches of rain falling across the country this morning. It was the wrong type of water. Or something.
Oh, fabulous.
But the rain did mean that people in some areas were under risk of flooding, power cuts, transport chaos. You know, the usual. Every time there's a bit of weather.
Emergency, everybody to get from street. Emergency, everybody to get from street.
As stormy weather is in immediate future, the Met Office has advised people to prepare for them in advance by gathering torches and batteries, a mobile phone power pack, crampons, snowshoes, flotation devices, fire extinguishers, edible chocolate-flavoured squirtable body cream and other essential items. Wet and windy conditions will sweep in for the final days of the meteorological summer, with showers and longer spells of rain falling over much of the UK. Muchly. I didn't know I was going to do that. On Tuesday, the Met Office said this summer would almost certainly be the UK's warmest on record. This is higher than the existing summer record of 15.76 degrees centigrade, which was set in 2018. Zoe Houtin, a senior meteorologist at the Met Office, said, temperatures have been sufficiently above average that the comparatively low temperatures coming will not significantly affect the mean temperature of the meteorological summer. Does anybody have any idea what she's talking about?
No.
If this season is confirmed as setting a new high for the average temperature, it will mean that all of the UK's 5 warmest summers will have occurred since the year 2000. But don't think for a second that it has anything to do with global warming, because an oily charlatan in Union Jack socks told us that there is no such thing as climate change, and the fact that his party has taken millions of pounds of donations from people with interest in the fossil fuel industry shouldn't make you disbelieve anything he says on the subject.
I'm a nutcase.
But don't think for a second... I just read the last part again. Idiot. That's right. What? All of the UK's top 5 warmest summers will have occurred since the year 2000. And they're all hotter than that summer that everyone of a certain age remembers, the year of 1976, when the haircuts were worse, but the music was better.
Correct.
In fact, I looked into it. I did homework. Can you believe that?
No.
Number 1 in 1976, at the start of that super soaraway summer, was Save Your Kisses for Me by the Brotherhood of Man. And in the top 10, Jungle Rock by Hank Mizell, Single Bed by Fox, and Love Me Like I Love You by the Bay City Rollers. So not all music was better, but I bet the rubbish from 1976 was at least equal to the rubbish from today's charts. None of which I'd be able to list if my life depended on it. But I am right about the haircuts. Better today. But never mind about that. Would you like to hear the long-range forecast for the next 4 weeks? Next 2 weeks, changeable and unsettled with showers or long spells of rain, with the possibility of thunder, lightning, very, very frightening. And the middle 2 weeks of September. Oh, there's no getting around it. Middle of September, it's just not summer anymore. I mean, it's practically winter, as a matter of fact. And it's been Christmas inside my local supermarket for at least a week now. Don't delay, get your Jesus birthday cards today. OK, the middle 2 weeks of September. Here we go. This is it. Showers or some longer spells of rain, more settled and dry in the south. Temperatures are likely to be close to average, perhaps turning warmer later. Temperatures are likely to be close to average, perhaps turning warmer later. We'll take it. OK, there's some very bad news. It's just the end of life as we know it, that's all. A critical ocean current that keeps parts of the world from freezing over is at risk of completely shutting down within decades.
Oh, no.
A research team from Europe found that the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation is a very difficult thing to pronounce.
Correct.
A research team from Europe found that the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation could collapse after 2100, especially if greenhouse gases remain high. And let's assume that they will remain high, because the world's highest emitter of greenhouse gases has a fossil fuel-loving turnip in a hairpiece as their leader.
I don't wear a toupee.
The Atlantic meridional overturning circulation is like a giant ocean conveyor belt that moves warm water from the tropics to the northern Atlantic, acting as a main current carrying that warm water from the south to the north. Educational, no?
No.
And if you're wearing Union Jack socks, you might be thinking, who cares about that? Caring about things is woke, and woke is bad.
No!
Well, here's a reason to care. It's the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation that keeps us from having a glacier parked on our faces. Our beautiful faces. It keeps places like right here milder in winter and influences weather patterns worldwide, including tropical rainfall. If the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation shuts down, it could cause colder winters and a new ice age. Scientists have warned that cutting emissions quickly is crucial to reduce the risk. But as they are experts in possession of facts, nobody was remotely interested in anything they had to say. Researchers from the Netherlands, Germany and the UK used computer models to make their dire predictions and mark them afterwards. And they got 10 out of 10. You believe that?
Affirmative.
In all 9 of their models simulating high greenhouse gas emissions worldwide, the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation shut down completely by the year 2100. Which, fact fans, is in the lifetime of people living right here, right now. A shutdown of the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation would cause sea levels to rise, flooding coastal communities, increase storm risks, cause bitter winters, the likes of which none of us have experienced before. Basically, it will make where you live right now all but uninhabitable. And then we'll be able to move on for somewhere more comfortable in another country, in the hope that the people living in those countries don't remember how we treated them when they were coming in the opposite direction. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on WhatsApp, then WhatsApp me, baby. Same number as the phone. 0345 6060 973. Pimlico. Alex.
Nick.
Alex.
Happy Christmas.
Yes, happy Christmas to you too.
Those cretins in charge.
What?
And when they mention the cretins in charge.
Oh, the cretins.
In general, yeah, the cretins. Mm-hmm. It's not an Ofcom banned word, Nick, I've checked. So we can say it freely.
I bet you haven't.
I have checked with your producers earlier today, thank you, sir.
Oh, well, that's to check with my producer is neither here nor there. What does he know?
Well, you checked with Ofcom.
No offence.
Well, we can use that word freely and enjoy using that word freely.
Then, Alex, don't ask a cretin for advice on what words you can say on this show.
Oh, God. Anyway, very quickly, moving on swiftly with your show. When you hear the word...
Wait a minute, hang on a minute. Yeah. What did you mean by that? My show? Well, that sounded like a bit of a slam to me.
No, with the show this evening, sir.
Right, okay.
So when you hear those in charge talk about global warming and climate change, and your little preamble just now...
Little preamble? Another savage swipe, Carol.
Yeah.
Just remember this, Nick, and you may have to Google it. I'm not near a computer.
If you're asking me to do homework, then I'm afraid that is right.
No. I just want to put this one out there, that when the Romans were in Londinium, back in the river valley of the Thames, back in the Roman times of the Roman invasion...
OK, that's too many rolled R's. You're just too annoying, mate. Go away. But I do wish you all the best, and I hope you have a happy life. I should have cut him off right at the beginning. I mean, as soon as he started to speak, my mind went...
Warning, warning.
I've been doing this for a very long time, and I can tell him a mile away. Sean in Isha says, the world is laughing at Trump, and with a good reason. Not fit for office. Step aside for somebody with a bigger brain than a pea. A bigger brain than a pea. Did you hear that, Donny?
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
He's like... a smart not a smart person, he's like a smart person. Not even like a smart person.
Oh, shut up!
I mean, come on. Not even in the same country as a smart person. Not on the same planet. Dowlin Hove says, well, it's the epicenter of all crime these days, isn't it? Hove. I'll get onto that in a minute. He says it's great that the Lionesses are still being celebrated after their Euro victory and with such unexpected fans. Only yesterday I saw a group of burly men putting up English flags in the centre of Brighton. Heartwarming, no?
No.
No. And that word burly is describing a lot. Yeah, a boatload. Yeah. Yeah, patriotism, yeah. We'll put these flags up at half-mast, because, you know, we can't be bothered to go to the top of the lamppost, because, like, you know, yeah. Alex says, hello, Mr. Nick. Have you seen the story of the American covert operatives being sent to Greenland to sow dissent, only to be detected immediately by Danish intelligence? No. No, I haven't seen that. Is that true? If the Fat Controller knew as much about espionage as he does about grass and wind, we'd all be in big trouble. Big trouble, huge.
I know a lot about wind.
He knows a lot about wind.
I know a lot about wind.
He knows a lot about wind. And he knows a lot about black men, too.
I'm doing great with black men.
Melania, your husband's doing great with black men.
I don't care.
She's actually not that bothered. She's all on board. 0345 6060 973. Now, I've got Huey and Dewey on the line at the moment. Who shall I take first, Huey or Dewey? Oh, it looks like Huey. Hello, Jeff.
Well, that's the quickest. How are you, Nick?
I am great, mate.
Okay. I am really impressed with your interpretation of what we used to call the Atlantic Conveyor or the Gulf Stream or whatever it's named now.
I bet you can't say it.
And you have done your homework.
Well,
I can only compliment you.
Yes, that does sort of grate on me, just the very word homework. But and I'm having to pick it up off the floor so I can check your work in this regard. What do you call it? What is that? What is that thing I was talking about?
Well, whatever you call it, we used to call it the Atlantic Conveyor.
The conveyor belt.
It was known as the Gulf Stream.
The Gulf Stream, much easier to say than Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation. I cannot believe that I'm getting it right every time I'm saying it, as opposed to tying my tongue in a knot and tripping over my face.
It's all to do, as I endlessly said to you, it's all about Atlantic Sea temperatures.
Yeah.
And it's never, ever talked about. You're the first man to come on LBC and really talk about it.
Right.
You deserve
almost as though I know what I'm on about. Yeah. Almost, but not quite.
Exactly.
But the thing is, with it, I'm going to talk like an expert now, and I know as much about this as anything else. The Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation is a very, very important thing because we are in the north in this country. If you look at how winters are in America, for instance, on our latitude, then, you know, they're up to their eyeballs in snow. They actually have to dig their way out of their house. They got so much snow up there, which is not here. That's not what we get here. And in the summertime, it'll be baking hot heat. And it's extremes that we're not used to, and that is what is preventing us from experiencing that, the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation. I'm actually enjoying saying that now. Now that I know I can say it without falling over.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, I'm impressed.
I really am.
Yeah. But if it stops, which is entirely likely, I mean, it's a self-perpetuating, it's like permanent motion, whatever that phrase is.
It is.
Huh?
Well, it's worse than what you think because the line of latitude goes through Churchill on the Hudson, where they get polar bears, you got permafrost, it is the north.
So if we don't get that continuing, then and it could stop because of again, it's got something to do with the salinity of the water. It's like saline, and the salinity is dependent on the heat, and the knee bone's connected to the shin bone. Sing.
Well, the thing is, when you freeze seawater, if you go to the Arctic and you cut an ice cube, there's no salt in it. What happens is that the water separates from the salt. The salt makes the water underneath the ice heavier. It sinks, and that's what draws the water up from the
Please, Jeff, please stop explaining it to me.
Sorry.
All we need to know is that if it stops, we're in big trouble, huge. And what will make it stop is if we continue on this road to nowhere, this path to ruination. And, there's certain oily charlatans who are pretending they're acting in our best interests, but who absolutely aren't. They're dragging us into hell. And this country will become unlivable, no doubt.
We are only going to follow America. Democracy, as we know it today, is under attack.
We
will
over.
Not know democracy. In this country, Nick, we are just going to copy what's going to go on in America.
Yeah, as we always have done, about 6 months behind. I mean, some things take a bit longer, some things straight away, but it's there or thereabouts, yeah. So that's the route that we appear to be gleefully on. And we'll get just the same results as they are in America. Lots of people crying into their phones. Oh, I didn't think that the government I voted for was going to be mean to me.
Well, the scenes I saw on the various television sets, this week, where the ice guys were dragging people, well, that was just amazing. But did you see the population of DC coming out onto the street?
Now you switched. Wait a minute. You switched subject and started talking about ice guys. We were just talking about actual ice, sea ice, and then you switched, and I'm like, my brain's in a scramble. What's he talking about now? Oh, you've got to give us some sort of alert.
Warning.
Okay.
Subject change.
Okay, well, all I can say is that the goose stock last Sunday was brilliant.
Goose stock at the Goose and Cuckoo.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. It was brilliant. They had this tribute group from U2,
What were they called?
Well, I don't know what they were called, but they played all the U2 numbers, and it was good.
Huh.
I very rarely like the music, but I like it.
Right. Well, yeah, I've heard music. I'm not that keen. I don't think it'll catch on, to be honest. Jeff, got to go, but thanks for that.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Some whack job can say this stuff and get away with it?
OK, here's that story. I can't believe this one passed me by. Denmark's foreign minister has summoned the top US diplomat in Copenhagen over intelligence reports alleging covert influence operations by US citizens in Greenland that aim to whip up opposition to Danish rule. The public broadcaster, naming unnamed sources, reported that at least 3 Americans with ties to President Donald Trump's administration were suspected of involvement in the efforts. With ties to Donald Trump's administration.
I'm president. Can you believe it?
No, we're still stunned, Donny. The rest of the world is in a state of shock. Suspected in involvement in the efforts which also sought to promote Greenland's secession from Denmark to the United States. Neither the minister nor the broadcaster disclosed the identities of the Americans flagged in the intelligence reports, but locals identified them by the amount of makeup they were wearing on their faces.
Oh, shut up!
I can't believe it. How stupid are these people? I mean, approximately. And to the nearest decimal point. It's really quite incredible.
People are laughing at us all over the world. They think we're stupid, and we are. I mean, we're being led by stupid people. We're being led by people that don't have a clue, they're incompetent.
They don't have a clue and incompetent, but you have to get that in the right order to get extra points.
If you get it in order, you get extra points. If you get it in order, you get extra points.
Extra points for getting it in order. Simon says, Nick, I hope you've been preparing a basket of rotten hang on. That's better. Simon says, hi, Nick, I hope you've been preparing a basket of rotten cabbages to throw at Angela Rayner for publicly having the audacity of owning hang on. God. Shall I start it again?
No.
Simon says, hi, Nick, I hope you've been preparing a basket of rotten cabbages to throw at Angela Rayner for publicly having the audacity of owning 1/30th of the property that Nadine Zahawi owns, and he knows his numbers.
And one?
Yes.
Two?
3.
6 million?
No, that is the wrong answer, is Abbot Zahawi.
And one? 2?
3.
11.
Well, we're getting closer. Much, much closer.
86%, 5 million, and of course, over 50%. And what I'm saying is, an additional 162 million. And that comes, by the way, on top of the 500 million.
Top of?
36 billion, of which 5.4 billion, and probably one of the biggest of 500,000 of over 16,000.
Well, you're making a lot of sense. But at least he has warm horses. Should we do that now or later? I might do it later. I need to get a run-up at it. That whole Angela Rayner issue. You remember Angela Rayner out of the government, don't you?
No!
Yeah, that's her. Here is Greenwich, Kathleen.
Oh, hello there.
Hello there.
Hi, I'm here. Are you there?
Where are you?
I'm always there. Are you there? I'm
no,
here.
I'm here. You're there.
Are you there? I'm there, yes.
Right.
Angela Rayner, it's so silly, isn't it, what they're doing to her? It's like, just leave her alone, isn't it? What has she done to deserve all that? All that hatred directed at her. She done nothing wrong. She deserves a holiday, doesn't she? Don't you think?
Deserves a holiday. I don't think it's got anything to do with a holiday, but I think it has a lot to do with A, that it's a her, and B, that it's a person of low standing, a person that came up from a poor family who should know her place.
That's terrible, isn't it? I'm sure that's happened before from lots of fellas and girls, and nobody batted an eyelid, did they?
Yeah. Well, you make a good point.
Under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever heard about it. It's ridiculous. They're just going at her like the hounds of the basketball,
Kathleen, where is this accent from? It's like we're taking a trip around the English-speaking world. Can you nail a bit of it down for us?
Lived in Southampton for a long time. I lived in Belfast for a long time.
Right.
I lived in Lancashire for a long time. And now I'm back in London, so I sound like the South East Londoner who are
not
really. And all that.
Not to my ear, no.
Well, when I get a handyman come to my house, they think I'm from New York. Does it sound like I'm from New York?
No.
What is it? Is it a combine harvester?
Yeah, a little bit like that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit...
That's where I start off.
Yeah, a little bit farm girl, yeah. All right, lovely to hear from you, Catherine, and appreciate everything you just told me, whatever that was. Graham says, any bets on the date that of Trump's coronation, now that his conversion of the White House into a palace is taking place, says Graham. Cheapest looking palace I ever saw in my life. Those decorations that somebody's superglued to the wall of the Oval Office, I mean, that's just embarrassing. Only a first world dictator with third world tastes could possibly have those put on the wall and be proud of it. But he is. Festooned the place with cheap gold tat. It looks ridiculous. It probably looks like the inside of that plane that he just got for free. Are there gold swan taps in the bathroom? I bet there are. Wayne says, new Trump bingo. He'll designate the Democrats as a terrorist organisation and ban all opposition. Stephen Miller has already started that narrative. It's not going to end well in America, I'm telling you right now. You Americans, I don't know quite what is going on in your minds. You don't really seem to get it. I was talking to a journalist the other day on my Sirius Sunday show, and I think he was a Brit, and he was in New York, and we were talking about all this, and he didn't seem concerned at all. The American media seemed to have this, that's just Donald. He'll do a few things, and then we'll have fair elections, and everything will go back to normal. No, normal has left the building. Wake up! It's a coup. Nobody builds a £200 million ballroom and then leaves it to somebody else. He ain't leaving. Very difficult to get through to them. It's like they're living in La La Land, which in a lot of cases they actually are.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Hello.
Susan in Glasgow says, "Hi, Nick." Hi, she says. "I wonder what you think of my mum's name for Trump. It came out of her mouth by mistake, so right away I said, I must text Nick on Friday night and hope he thinks it's a good and funny one." Blimey, talk about short story long. She said Donald Trout. Will you add that to the list of your surnames for Donald Trump? Well, let me think about that for a moment.
No.
But I like this one. Kate says Donald Trump equals idiot Amin. Lots of love, says Kate. I appreciate it, Kate.
Thank you.
And that is definitely going on the list. Idiot Amin. I like it. I'll just give you some of them because in a brief 3-hour show, I can't fit them all in. But I've got just in the small space in this page that has still got room for something, for a new entry. Idiot Amin goes right above the Terracotta Toddler, Pumpkin Hitler, Yosemite Scam, Orangutan... Orangutaco, Donny Dollhands, Emperor Squeaky Tanks, and Numpty Trumpty. Not forgetting Mussolini, Julius Squeezer, His Majesty, and Donny Gropenfuhrer. Donny Gropenfuhrer. Well, I don't think that's fair. He's always said that he'll be so great to women.
I will be so great to women. I cherish women. I cherish women.
He cherishes women. Is there anything a bit alarming and creepy about that? Of course not. Why would there be? Penzance. Hello, Andrew.
Nick, hello. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. When I called in, the conversation was very different to the one it is now. It's jumped around a lot. But
that sounds like this show.
I think the point I'm going to make scans across all of them, but we'll see. I think that
we'll see.
We'll see, yes. I think people on our side of the argument, and I say that with appropriate levels of pomposity, labour under a fairly significant misapprehension, and that is that there isn't a very large herd immunity to facts as a strong mind-altering drug. And the fact of the matter is that facts are very weak mind-altering drugs even.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Andrew. Just what is it that you're talking about, so we know where we are?
And facts are very poor at changing people's mind. And, in the position you sit in, you must surely see that on a weekendly basis.
Yeah, but you're not talking about all facts. You're talking about specific ones. Which specific facts are you talking about?
No, in terms of changing people's minds, if you want changing the Reform voters' minds on climate change, the facts clearly don't do any good.
Yeah.
Changing the MAGA supporters' minds on Donald Trump clearly don't do any good.
No.
A couple of billion people on Earth believe that in Bronze Age Palestine, a woman was impregnated by a ghost, and they build their entire life around it.
Right.
Now, it's people are just ridiculous, and if we want to try and do something about the way they think, we have to find a different way, because putting facts and reason in front of them clearly isn't working.
Well, that one of those bad boys of Brexit, whose name escapes me for the moment, Aaron somebody.
Alan Banks.
Right. He said it absolutely perfect. He was spot on. He says facts are just white noise to people. You might as well sing in Hebrew at them. They've got no idea what you're talking about. It just does not compute. It just goes straight by. This blankness comes over their face. Facts are white noise. Feelings.
Exactly.
Feelings. That's what it's all about. That's what they're selling. They're selling feelings.
Exactly. And I've had an idea or two about how the narrative could be changed. So, for example, with the immigrants, if the government found an Afghani immigrant who'd helped the British Army and then found one of the soldiers he'd helped and put them on television next to each other, with the Afghani telling the story about how he'd helped the soldier and the soldier confirming that, that would have much more capacity to change people's opinions than just saying, hundreds of them helped our soldiers.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, that was it. That was my humble contribution.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Sounds like you made it. Good work. Thanks a lot, Andrew. 0345 6060 973. Tony in Tottenham says, the sooner the UK is rid of politicians like Farage and Rupert Lowe and Richard Tice, the better. They are parasites. They are only interested in enriching themselves, mainly at our expense, says Tony in Tottenham. And for balance, no, they're not. Does that work? Susan in Glasgow says, I wonder what you think of my... Oh, no, I've done that one. Mum's name for Trump. I didn't like it the first time I heard it, and I certainly don't like it the second time. But, thanks for your input. Thanks for your mother's input, or output, actually, because it came out with a sneeze. Came out of her mouth by mistake. David in Wimborne says, good evening, Nick. According to a new royal book, the Queen, not the living one, the dead one, was a Remainer. The Queen was a Remainer. If only she had said so in 2016. I thought she did say so in 2016. Didn't she put that hat on that was like an EU flag? And certain elements just went ballistic at the very idea. You know, they absolutely loved her more than life itself, and then she expressed an opinion in hat form, and they lost their minds over it. You remember that? If only she had said so in 2016, those patriotic knuckle draggers might have voted the correct way. I hope that's not a controversial thing to say, says David, who really was going for a controversial thing to say. Yeah, really bending himself into pretzel shape, trying to be controversial. Those patriotic knuckle draggers, he said, trying not to be controversial. Yeah, well, she's not allowed to say anything, is she? She can't say anything about anything. That's why people love her so much. It's because they can't remember a single thing she said on any subject ever. The only thing that anybody can ever remember the Queen saying was annus horribilis. And that's because it sounded like, Yeah. Oh, blimey, did you hear what the Queen just said? She's got horrible what? That's the only thing anybody can ever remember that she said. And that's the reason why people loved her so much, because they could just project onto her whatever they wanted. Because there was no information that would, that would provide any other reality other than the one that they made of her. Plus, she looked great in pastels. Whereas, his kingship, not so much. Not good in pastels, I wouldn't think. Stay away from the purple end of red, Your Majesty. Not a good look on you. Darren in Plymouth says, hi, Nick. With reference to hotel room toilets from last week's shows, my wife and I stay in a lovely hotel in Mallorca with amazing views, fantastic staff and facilities and great food, but there is one horrendous drawback. The toilets in the rooms have a glass, non-soundproof or windproof door.
Oh, no.
If you're not over familiar with each other before a visit to the island, by the time you come home, you'll know each other almost inside out. Oh, that's not good, is it? A glass door off the bedroom to the toilet? You're joking. I mean, that's even worse than those baths that are in the bedroom in some hotels. Who wants to take a bath in a bedroom? I'll tell you who. No one. That's who. Here is Hackney. Hello, John.
Hello.
Yes, John.
Hello there. I just wanted to say that there's going to be a new party.
Oh, yeah. What time does it start?
Yeah.
That was the wrong one. It would have been beautiful if only I'd hit that one.
Yeah, so have you heard about the new party?
What time does it start? Your name's not on the list, you're not getting in.
A new political party.
Well, then no.
It's called Advance. It's going to wipe the floor with these other right-wing parties that have started themselves.
Well, you make a good point, and I can't wait not to join it. What's in its manifesto?
Well, it's not about the manifesto. It's about who's endorsing it and who's going to be the leader. The leader is going to be Ben Abbot. And who's endorsing it? A legend, a hero of mine, Tommy Robinson.
Okay.
And
I wish him and you and all who sail on them the very best of luck. Thanks a lot, John. Because that's what this country needs, another right-wing party. Like we don't have enough of those already. Good grief. There's a very slim margin on the right there, and I don't think it's big enough for another party. Somewhere in the middle might be good. I mean, you might have some luck in the middle-ish or, on the left. Only the one, really, Uncle Jezza. There's a bunch in the middle. It's quite bunched up in the middle, and we've got plenty enough on the right. Darren in Plymouth says, no, done that one. That's about the toilets. This says, Nick Abbott, I think Gavin Newsom has been listening to your show. On a Politico video on YouTube, I saw him saying that Trump isn't going to have another election, and to wake up when people laughed about him going against... to wake up when people laughed about him going against Trump in 2028. Does that make sense? On a Politico video on YouTube, I saw him saying Trump isn't going to have another election, and to wake up when people laughed about him going against Trump in 2028. Right, OK, that makes sense. I think punctuation might be a good idea. Can I interest you in a comma, for instance?
No.
Commas are woke. He said it's not a laughing matter. He said, why would Trump spend loads of money on a ballroom for him to be voted out? Oh, maybe Gavin Newsom is my cosmic twin. I mean, I didn't just say that. I said this last week, and from the first time that £200 million ballroom was mooted. I thought, why is anybody going to spend that kind of money, even if it's not their own money? Because it will be built to his specific designs. God, it will be a taco-rama like you've never seen outside of Las Vegas. It'll be awful. But why would he build something like that, a temple to himself, and then leave it to somebody else? He ain't going anywhere. So, anyway, this message says, so I wanted to call, but can't get through, so thought you should know that you have been right. Completely correct in every respect. Thank you. I think Gavin Newsom is doing brilliant work, by the way. And it's really freaking the right wing out in America, because he is... If you haven't seen his tweets, they're really worth it. He tweets in the manner of Donald Trump, all caps, exclamation marks, just silly, just nonsense. But it forces people who just say, oh, well, when Donald Trump does it, oh, that's just, him being Donald. It forces people to look at it and reevaluate their opinion of what it is that's coming out of that man's mouth and phone. It's absolutely asinine. And it takes somebody else to do it, to make it, to sort of break through. And I think he is breaking through. Well, he's upsetting all the right people, that's for sure. Spence in County Antrim says, hey, Nick, BBC reported today about the upsurge in plant theft from homes and garden centres. The advice is to plant your plants in the ground, not in pots, cable tie them, etc., so they're all more difficult to lift, and possibly even GPS tag them. I just hope the special branch can weed the thieves out. You know what? I hope that is an actual story, and that wasn't just a 6-line setup to a joke. Because I have a very strong policy about that sort of thing.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
He is a very sick and dangerous man.
This text says, I'm so fed up with seeing and hearing Nigel Farage every 5 minutes, I might go to Clacton to avoid him. And Judith says, good evening, Nick. Don't you think that Angela Rayner was taking a bit of a risk arriving on the south coast in a dinghy? I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, that's right. Taking a big risk there, Angela, arriving in a dinghy, supping from a glass of wine the size of a bucket. Where did you find a glass of wine quite that big?
Booze.
Let's see now. Saffron Walden. Hello, Jay.
Oh, hi. Hi, Nick.
Yes, Jay.
Hi. I want to talk... how are you? You okay?
I am super. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I was just changing my... remember I had a... what's it called? Fire alarm. So I was changing the batteries right now. Sorry.
It's well, I don't recall this, but every now and again somebody calls me and they've got this tweet going off in the background, and it's their fire alarm, and they're busy ignoring it. It's the world's most annoying sound, and they have found some way to ignore it. It just blows my mind. It's trying to save your life, for crying out loud, Jay. Just change that battery.
It's been changed now. So basically, I want to talk about the flags. You know, the roundabouts that have been painted.
Oh, yes, the flags. Yes, the flags. That's right. Yes. Go ahead.
They look so beautiful. I really like them, and I don't find them offensive at all. But it's just the way they've been painted. It's so good. I mean, I travel to Liverpool, and there's lots of roundabouts around there.
Yeah.
Some of them been painted over. Some of them been painted over white. I don't know why the council is trying to, and it looks a bit tacky now. But why the councils in this country don't fly the flags of Britain?
Yeah, they do. They just don't. They just don't flag them halfway up lampposts. That's all.
I just want them to keep the flag people happy.
The flag people will never be happy. It doesn't matter what you give them; they will never be happy because grievance and like whining victimhood is their thing now. They feel the need to blame somebody else because their life didn't turn out that well, and by joining a gang, which is essentially what they've done, they're going out in groups. And, acting the tough guy, putting a flag on everything that they can see, like a curry house, that sort of thing. If they have got a little pot of paint with them, then they'll stick it up on any business that is not run by a white British person. And they feel, like stronger and invincible in the arms of their little gang. That's what that's about. Plus, it sort of imbues a sense of superiority. Yeah, we're British, English, yeah. And then once they've done it, then their life continues to be just as it used to be, and they've got nothing.
I agree with you, but I really like when I go back home, the people ask me to bring something British, and then it's with Union Jack, and they really like it. The Union Jack, it's beautiful colours. And then if I take some souvenirs with me, I go to London, there's lots of souvenir places there.
Boatloads.
And then I'll pick up something with the Union Jack.
A T-shirt or a nice mug, something like that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And it really looks powerful. Another thing is why far right always pick on women, like Angela Rayner, Meghan Markle.
Other women are available. Yeah, I know. Why are they always picking on women? Because that's a Neanderthal man thing. It's the same in America. They pick on women because they would actually prefer it back in the old days where A, women didn't have the vote, and B, they shut up and stood by the sink. Where's my dinner?
It's easy picking. It's easy picking with Angela Rayner. It was her legs first, then her hair, and now her mortgage. Yeah. And now she's not paying her. It's just the same old story. And I really like Nick Ferrari always regurgitating the same story over and over again. I don't think he's getting tired. But it's boring now. I think it's done.
Well, Jay, if you're bored now, just wait, because this isn't done at all. And we're still in the silly season, so, the press are casting around for, anything that's not Meghan Markle, although she will do in a pinch. And this is the story of the moment. Angela Rayner, her vast property portfolio.
And God help us with NF, National Front, not National Front. So Nigel Farage is a National Front. Okay, sorry.
I think if God was going to intervene on our behalf, he would have done something about something already. Over the brief history of man, I think that he would have done something at some point. He would have interjected on our behalf at some juncture, but so far nothing. So I think we're on our own, Jay. But thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Lucy says, Nick, you must have seen the pics of the bruise on Donald Trump's hand, the same as the late Queen. All we need to do is send in Liz Truss, and hopefully he's a goner.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you killed the Queen, Liz Truss. You believe that? Well, I think those bruises on people's hands, that's when they put a cannula in there, isn't it? I think I've got that right. They stick a needle in your hand and put, drugs, whatever kind of drugs you want.
Want to score some pot?
Any kind of drugs you want.
I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world.
He knows more about grass than any human being he thinks anywhere in the world. That's just a fact, because he said it out loud. Yeah, you get a big bruise there, particularly if you're an old person. And so that's what that is, surely. I mean, he's not getting a hand disease, is he? There's no such thing, is there? So it's just a big bruise from where he got a needle stuck in there, presumably to take blood or to give him, like vitamin shots or whatever it is, that keeps him going. Apart from the deal he's made with the devil. Apart from that. Let's see now. East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Nick. Yeah. Are you well?
Yes, I am well.
Good. A British thing and then an American thing.
Yeah.
We got the judgment from the appeal court today where they ruled that the injunction on the Bellhurst Bell had to be cancelled. Straight out of the blocks. Filth.
Oh, filth.
Look what's happened. The judiciary are siding with the migrants against the British people. This is dangerousness. It's absolutely appalling stuff.
That man, I as soon as just to say his name out loud, I just can't stand it. Do these people actually hear themselves? Can they? Do they understand their own recent history? Has anything they've ever said on any subject actually registered with the person that is doing the saying?
I mean, it does appeal to the dinglings, though, because first you other the migrants and say, look at them, they're not our tribe, they're a different tribe.
Yeah.
Now they're othering the judiciary and saying, they're not our tribe, they're siding with the migrant tribe.
Well, they're activist judges is, I think, the phrase from America, and if you haven't heard it about an English judge yet, then you will shortly. Because all of that Trump stuff is coming here. Because it's the same people behind it. It's the same money. It's the same goal. Total world domination. They already have all of the money that they could ever spend in 100 lifetimes. But the sickness is that it's just not enough. That you have anything is absolutely infuriating to them. And they want what you've got. Even though they don't need it. They'll never get around to spending it. It's just that you have it and they don't, and that's our future. Whatever happens in Donald Trump's America is shortly about to happen here, because the right-wing press seem to be absolutely determined to make Nigel Farage our next Prime Minister.
Well, one thing I don't think will come over here, and it's a bit of a question for you. I agree with you about Trump and American democracy totally, but why is Trump attacking the CDC? Because his dinglings, if he went out and said, take the vaccines are great, I want to protect your family. It's really family orientated.
Yeah.
And it is. As soon as the kids are big enough, they give them AK-47s.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, vaccines bad, assault weapons good. Yeah.
So, but this is insane. I don't understand. Most of his stuff has a political advantage. He talks rubbish. but it's electorally sensible.
Well, maybe it's just Darwinism. Maybe because I think thinning out the herd is part of the plan. Because billionaires just hate the idea that any of their taxes goes to propping up poor and stupid people. So it'd be much better if the poor, stupid people ceased to exist. So maybe it's all part of a thing. Somebody who is not a doctor giving them medical advice.
I'm not a doctor.
I mean, he said this about the virus, remember?
This, whatever they want to call it. You can call it a germ, you can call it a flu, you can call it a virus. You can call it many different names. I'm not sure anybody even knows what it is.
I'm not sure anybody even knows what it is. In other words, he doesn't know about it, and so he's expecting that nobody else knows about it. Even medical experts that are sitting next to him at the time he was saying that, holding their heads in their hands, he's telling them to insert light into their body or maybe drink some bleach. Tell me that that's not trying to herd out to thin out the herd.
Well, I agree. The only reason I could see to it is Christian fundamentalism, that it's like Project 2025.
Well, exactly. If you have an illness, then just pray, and that'll work. Every dead person on Earth in the history of the human race will attest to the fact that prayer prevents illness. Mike, good to talk to you. Thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
On your radio, on the LBC app, and
Play LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global. Leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
You're joking.
He thinks he looks good in a bathing suit. He doesn't.
Angela Rayner is tonight facing the prospect of a sleaze probe into her controversial property dealings. Is it just me, or is sleaze probe something you probably should not put into the internet search engine?
Warning, warning.
Angela Rayner is accused of doing something she shouldn't oughta, which is not good, but it would be funny if the Tories were those accusing her of dodgy dealing. In other news, it is the Tories who are accusing her of dodgy dealing. You believe it? The Conservatives lodged a formal request for an investigation into whether the Deputy Prime Minister broke the ministerial code in her purchase of an £800,000 second home. Which is odd because it's gone up in price since the weekend when it was a £700,000 second home. Just by dint of her moving in, it's shot up in value. And you know what? If there's any group of people that are expert in breaking the ministerial code, it is the Conservative Party. They've lodged a formal request for an investigation into whether the Deputy Prime Minister broke the ministerial code. Please.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
Yeah.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times. I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
One more time.
I followed the ministerial guidance at all times.
Yeah, still not believing it. This move follows an outcry after claims that Angela Rayner avoided a £40,000 stamp duty by telling the taxman that the luxury property in Hove was her main home, while telling the Cabinet Office that her primary residence was her family home 260 miles away in Manchester. And while living during the week in a lavish Grace and Favour apartment in central London, funded by the taxpayer. It's always been used for the purpose of giving the Deputy PM of the day a place to stay. And it's always been paid for by the taxpayer. It's just that it becomes an issue if it's an uppity woman of low station who's occupying it. Angela Rayner is thought to have paid around £30,000 in stamp duty on the Hove apartment, but she would have had to pay £70,000 if the flat had been considered a second home because of a punitive tax regime designed to discourage holiday home purchases, which was extended by Rachel Reeves last year. A spokesmodel for the Deputy Prime Minister said she had paid her taxes in full and done nothing wrong, which is not a good statement. Because it sounds like We pay all of the taxes that are legally due in every jurisdiction in which we operate, which is what every giant multinational corporation say whenever they're quizzed about their affairs. We pay all of the taxes that are legally due in every jurisdiction in which we operate, which amounts to saying, get lost, peasant, we're busy. Friends say now here comes the important part. Friends say she sold her stake in the Greater Manchester property where she once lived with her ex-husband and children before buying this place in Hove, and therefore now only owns one property. So, no scandal then. Except it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether there is a scandal, because there becomes something there if the press keeps saying there's something there, even if that something is nothing. Questions remain about how she funded the expensive apartment in Hove, where she is actually living, and where she should pay, oh God. Again, from the top, this is the Mail. Questions remain about how she funded the expensive apartment in Hove, where she is actually living, and where she should pay council tax. Questions remain, they said. They're just asking questions. I mean, you know, on a scale of potential political scandals, this is absolutely microscopic. But it's not a good look for the Minister for Housing. That's true. Epsom, hello, Lindsay. Lindsay.
Hi, Nick.
Oh, just under the wire. Yes, Lindsay.
Hello.
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 Yes.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me all right?
No.
Hello. It's all going to pot, isn't it, out there? It's silly season. It's just all very depressing.
Well, don't be depressed.
With everything.
Oh, come on, Lindsay, don't be depressed.
I was wondering,
it's a change of season.
Like
You're not remotely listening to anything I'm saying.
Well, it is a bit, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Do you think Do you think Donald Trump's having disinfectant injected into him? Is that why he's got that mark on his hand?
I don't know what it is,
maybe?
but I would expect that is it. It's a bruise from an injection of some sort. He's had a procedure, some sort of medical procedure. Maybe try to...
maybe it's to keep him orange.
Get the evil out, or as much as they could manage. Are you with us, Lindsay?
Yeah, maybe. I think we should go back to the future. I am. Can you hear me?
No.
There's a delay on the line.
No, I think it's in your head.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I've definitely got hello. There's definitely a delay.
Right. Okay, well then I want you to let us know as soon as that clears up, Lindsay. You might have to get a needle in your hand. Let us know straight away, all right? And I wish you all the very best. Maria says, if Trump is thinking about running in 2028, the Democrats need Newsom. Trump will not want to run against him. His ego wouldn't allow it. I don't think there's going to be a question of running. There's not going to be another election. People have to just wake up. It's not going to be another election unless it's absolutely, totally and 100% fixed beforehand, which Donald Trump has already said that it would be. You remember he was addressing a crowd of Christians and he said, my beautiful Christians, you only have to vote for me this one time. We're going to have it fixed. You won't have to vote for me again. I mean, he says it. He's telling people what's happening. He says it out loud. And people just receive it with, oh, yeah, it's just Donald Trump. Yeah, it's Donald Trump admitting to you what's going to happen, and you're just ignoring it like he didn't say it. Akil in Slough says, I would like to say the people who are putting up the England and Britain's flags are okay. Well, that's damning with faint praise, isn't it? Okay. He says, but the people who are painting the roundabouts with red lines are actually disrespectful, as cars will be driving over them. Yeah. Right. But driving over our flag, you mean? Our beautiful flag. No! Yeah, that is just... It's a fad. It's a phase. It's a... Oh, you remember in the summer of 2025, all those grunting, toothless, mouth-breathing morons were going around putting flags on everything? Oh, yeah, what fun, eh? That's it. I mean, just... Yeah, they'll get bored eventually. And, when it gets a little bit cold out or it's raining or they'll remember where the pub is, they'll get bored and go do something else. Go do something else to somebody else. This says, hi, Nick, I feel like this is stating the obvious and you must already have it, but how about orange squash? If it already exists, then what about squashed orange? Although he is quite plump, he still somehow looks squashed. Yeah. It's like he's got too much skin for his face. And whoever made his face just thought, oh, to hell with it. I can't be bothered, pulling it in. Let's just leave it like that. Nobody will notice. Let's see now. Bodmin, Malcolm. Is there a delay on this line?
No, there isn't, Nick. Listen, man. Hi, Nick.
Yeah, are you sure there isn't a delay on this line? Because there seems to be an echoing silence every time I stop speaking.
Hello, Nick.
Yes, Malcolm.
Nick, you hear me at last? Nick, how are you, bud?
Good, thanks.
What's on?
I am on.
Right, so, we've got John, stroke Nigel, stroke, hang on, what's his name? From Bath or Somerset somewhere. Nick, how many fake callers can you take, dude?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Malcolm. What are you talking about?
Well, look it up. John, Nigel, and some other name from Somerset who keeps calling you and telling you stories.
Right. What was the story today? I forget.
All right. But anyway, Nick, moving on.
You seem very exercised, Malcolm. Are you all right? Are you dyspeptic?
No, I'm angry, Nick.
About?
Well, a caller to the show. And moving on to...
Well, which one? Which caller has made you irate?
John Nigel stroke Mark, I think, who phoned up many years ago about Nigel Farage.
Are you... hang on a minute. Are you telling me that you're... Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Are you telling me that you're annoyed about a caller I took years ago?
No, I'm talking to you about a caller who you take every Friday and Saturday night called Nick and... called John and... or whatever his names are, for God's sake, Nick. But you're getting fake calls from someone in Somerset and he talks to you and he says, I'm in this B&B and I'm John and I'm Nigel.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I really have no clue as to what you're going on about now. I mean, you seem you seem as though you fell out of the wrong side of somebody else's bed. And it was a bunk bed too. Tragic. Have you hit your head lately? Martin in Isleworth says, hi, Nick, how about this one for Trump? The wig-head warlord. No. Martin in Chelmsford says, if Meghan Markle says that Brexit is great, you can bet the Daily Mail would demand a return to the EU straight away. Meghan Markle? I'll do your weekly Meghan Markle catch-up tomorrow. Tiago in Bristol says, since you mentioned last week, I've been collecting Trump nicknames that I've come across online. My favourites are below. The Comb-Over Conqueror, the Big Mac Machiavelli, the Tangerine Tyrant, Mango Menace, Cheeseburger Caesar, and Mar-a-Lado. Well, the last one's a keeper. Mar-a-Lado, I love it. I'm running out of space. Mar-a-Lado. That's going to have to... I'll squeeze that one in between Donito Mussolini and the Baby Tornado. Mar-a-Lado. I mean, he's evil, but he's also funny. That's the appalling thing about him. Epsom. Hello, Lindsay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Lindsay.
Oh, good. I put some money in the meter. We had a bit of a delay. I don't know what was going on there.
Oh, it's you again.
Yes, it's me again. I'm sorry. Your lovely lady, she rang me back.
Oh,
I think she felt sorry for me.
Okay.
How are you, Nick?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
It's all a bit doom and gloom, isn't it, Nick?
Well, if you concentrate on the doom and gloom it is, Lindsay, yes.
So, I was thinking about going back to the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you could go back to the future, where would you go? What do you think your ideal would be?
Do you actually mean? Do you actually mean back?
Yeah,
to
like the film.
I know, like the film. Yes, but
yeah.
That's not going back. That's going back ahead of time.
But yeah, to change something in order to make the future better.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Where would you go?
Chelmsford.
I'm not. I don't mean where. I mean time.
Oh.
I'm sure Chelmsford's really lovely.
Yeah. No, not really.
But that was a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where would you go?
When would I go, you mean? When would I go? Hey, can you hear me? Is this thing on? Stop talking over me. When would I go? I don't know. Yeah. I think that the best time to be alive is right now. Because before, more than 20 years ago, nobody had a phone. Nobody had the internet. People weren't, connected. And all of the excellent possibilities that have come from that, and, there's some bad things, but there's always bad things with every invention. So I think, like, right now, we've got better health care than we had before. We've got better, dental care. People are dressing better. Our haircuts are better. Everything's better apart from the music. Only the music is letting us down.
Rock and roll! Where would you go back to for the music, then?
Well, I think the 1970s has got it all.
Do you?
Yeah, the 1970s.
Yeah, I suppose it had a bit of a lot of genres, wasn't there?
Everything under the sun came in the 1970s. It still had a holdover from, like the Beatles and the Stones, and then we went into classic rock, with the Pink Floyd, Genesis and all that good stuff. And then we had hip-hop, disco and punk all at the same time.
And ska music came in late as well,
right,
in the 70s. Yeah, so pretty much.
Yeah.
No, I think I was just trying to lighten the mood because I'm just so depressed with the news at the moment.
Well, my advice, Lindsay, is don't look at the news, don't read the news, don't listen to the news.
But I know it's just everywhere, though, isn't it?
Only if you look for it. If you turn the TV off, listen to me. Listen, because this is important. Because a lot of people are feeling Listen to me. A lot of people are feeling overwhelmed, and they just can't stand it anymore. And they feel like they have to constantly be looking at their phone to see the latest updates, see what stupid thing Donald Trump's just done. And then we got the spectre of the dark side, which is coming over this country like a big cloud. Just tune out, Lindsay. Your attention is not going to affect the outcome.
No, I know, but I just get annoyed that they're given so much of a platform, I suppose, especially Nigel.
Yeah.
That's a bit annoying.
Well, it's like I said. I think that the right-wing billionaire-owned offshore tax-avoiding media barons are determined to make Farage our next prime minister. And if a billionaire is determined to do something, then you have to know that it is not going to be in the interest of the rest of us.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I need to get a grip. But I was quite impressed that Ed Davey is not going to go to Donald's big, state banquet thing.
That'll teach him. Somebody he doesn't know isn't going to be there. That'll learn him.
I know, but at least he's made a stand.
A stand.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no, not having it. So, That was it, really, Nick.
Okay,
I'm sorry about the delay earlier.
That's all right. We are experiencing delays, like British Rail. Have I done the break yet? One moment, just checking. No, I have not. That is very poor. I am very bad at my job.
This is LBC. Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
So they opened their big mouths, and out came talk. Talk, talk.
This talk coming from Crystal Palace and a person called Matthew. Matthew.
Oh, hello, mate. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Sorry, mate. I just spilled some tea on the sofa there, and just mopping it up, and then you come on the blower. I was like, oh, bloody hell, Nick's on the phone there. How are you doing, Nick? You good, mate?
Leave it with me, and I'll come back to you, all right? I'll put you on hold. I'm just getting I'm getting a feeling. I think that the bar needs to be raised a little bit for for getting through to me. Just a little, couple of feet. Jack in Hales Owen says, for your Trump bingo, he will get frustrated at not receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, so frustrated that he will invent the American Peace Prize and award it to himself. Actually, I'm gonna bet that actually happens. The Nobel Peace Prize being very mean, so I killed all of them and awarded a prize to myself. Tarnia, with an R, says, a few years ago, my husband and I were staying at a hotel in Hong Kong. While he dealt with the bellboy bringing up our luggage, I ducked into the bathroom. I went to turn on the lights and flip what I thought was a light switch. Instead, it changed the floor-to-ceiling bathroom wall from frosted glass to completely clear. I figured out it must be one-way glass, so no big deal, right? Wrong. I locked eyes with the bellboy who was standing in our room holding our suitcases. Let's just say he didn't stick around for a tip. Well, that's just a bad idea. Wanstead. Hello, Sophie.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm great, mate. Thanks for asking.
A very belated happy birthday.
To me. Thanks.
What I've decided for my birthday next May is I'm not going to make my resolutions on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make them on my birthday.
Right. So to be clear, you're not going to actually keep them. You're just changing the day on which you'll make them. Change the day on which you lie to yourself.
You figured me out. No,
right.
But I think that's a more significant day than New Year's Eve.
No, it isn't.
My birthday is to me.
Yeah, but not to anybody else. The New Year's Eve is a significant day because it's this invisible hoop in space that the entire spinning planet fits through precisely. For the entire year, we've been heading around the sun, aiming for this hoop in space. And when we pass through it, which we magically will, without denting our planet, then that will be a new year for everybody on it. And therefore, it makes it more significant. And the lights, the days will get longer, and it will become lighter. And it's like a new dawn.
Okay, actually, you sold it to me now. You've sold it, but I'll tell you why my birthday is significant to the world.
Yeah.
My birthday is on VE Day, 8th of May.
Right.
Victory in Europe, Nick.
Yeah, I know. I know what VE stands for. Yeah, but that's not as big a deal as the start of a new year.
Well, this is true. It will be a miracle if we get through this year.
Well, yeah.
With that man in the White House, I'm going to give you another suggestion for his name, and it's seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
There are two reasons I rang. One is and they're both about Trump. The pumpkin president, because Halloween's coming up.
Yeah,
no?
No.
Oh, okay. He's not as clever as the others, I agree. Granted.
Yeah.
Granted. But the other thing is, Nick, there's no way you can improve your show at all, but I do have a suggestion.
Well, hang on a minute. You have a suggestion to improve this programme, yet you've already said that there's no way of improving this programme?
Okay, I'll qualify that. Sorry.
Yeah.
You could add something else. You could add the cherry on top.
Yes.
So just like you do the A to Z every year, which I absolutely love, you could do an A to Z of the Cheeto president in November, which is when an election would be in an election year, or January, which is when the inauguration would be, of A to Z of all of his shenanigans up to that point.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think absolutely. No.
No? Oh, I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah, that's two bad ideas in a row. And let me qualify that.
No.
No.
Okay, happy news, Nick. Happy news.
Yes.
For the school fraternity. Oh, the bad news is we have to go back on Monday. But the good news is there are only 8 weeks till half term.
Oh. They never... I mean, no wonder kids are stupid these days. That's not a controversial thing to say, is it? Stupid kids. No wonder they're so stupid these days. They're never in school. They're always on holiday. But I am glad to hear that they'll be going back because, everything else will be quieter.
Yeah, the parents will be dancing for joy, but the traffic will be awful.
Yeah.
The traffic, the most miserable-looking people on the train and the buses will be the school workers. I love my job, but the first 2 weeks are hard.
Not bad.
but the happiest will be the parents. But about that thing you just mentioned, the time off, so I remember some Conservative MP was campaigning to shorten the holidays, saying that students from certain socio-economic backgrounds suffer. But she never said that about all the children who go to public school, private school. They have longer holidays than us.
Do they?
Now, yes, they do. They have really long holidays, Nick.
I thought kids had really long holidays. I mean, how long have they been off for the summer? Like 6 months, something like that?
No, 6 weeks.
Right. Well...
But we need a little bit longer.
No, 6 weeks. Because I remember at the end of summer holidays as a kid, you just bored out your mind. You was actually looking forward to school starting up again. You enjoyed those shop windows that said "back to school" on them. You know, if they started that in the middle of August, it was like, oh, really? But come a little chill in the air towards now, for instance. You think, yeah, maybe I could do with a new pencil.
Now, I have to say, ever since I was really young, even though I love autumn and spring, this time of year always made me a little bit sad because it gets darker.
Yeah.
The clocks are going to go forward or back, whichever one it is. I think it's back.
And we say adieu to summer.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
It's gone. Yeah.
It makes me feel a little bit of melancholy. I feel a bit sad.
Oh, well, cheer up, dear. It might never... Oh, no, that's right. It already has. Thanks, Sophie.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Hello, boys.
Tom says, I see these flags today in the rain around Surrey, Hampshire and Berkshire, and they're looking limp as anything. Who's going to look after them? Says Tom. Like they're pets. No one's going to look after them. Somebody is going to have to, at great expense to us, the taxpayer, traipse around and take them all down. Because obviously they're a danger. They're not being put up by experts. They're at half-mast on lampposts. They're not supposed to be flying off lampposts in the first place. And who died that they're at half-mast? Of course they're going to have to get taken down. And you just heard it in the news. A council has described damage caused to a 19th century landmark after it was painted with a St George's cross by vandals as, quotes, upsetting. Portsmouth Guildhall, a Victorian hall now used as an events venue, is one of a number of buildings and roads in the city that have been painted with this flag, Portsmouth City Council said. Morons. Mouth-breathing, toothless morons. And they should be dealt with great vengeance. Edmund says, Nick, if Trump... carks, as in dies. If Trump, I think that he should be awarded a posthumous Nobel Peace Prize. Well, that's just fair. That seems reasonable. Bristol, hello, Wanda.
Hello, hi. I do like hip hop and disco, but I had 2 points. What I think America shows and Trump shows is how fragile the democracy is.
Yes.
Like with politics and media, they get a felon running the country, and then he can put all the army on the streets of a city.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels very fragile. Like the whole democracy is more like a wish and a prayer, not like fixed laws that have to be.
If you enjoy your freedom, you have to continue to fight for it. Otherwise, somebody will take it away.
Yeah, and the other thing was the right wing in this country. Like, I'm a tall blonde woman, and I'd probably be an Aryan queen if the far right took over. But I just don't see. Like, I haven't read anything about history where the far right has ended up anything positive. Like, I don't want Andrew Tate, being the leader. I want someone like Julian Clary. I just like what
are those the choices?
They got?
Are those the choices we've got, Wanda? Andrew Tate or Julian Clary?
Well, yeah. Then you've got the far right, and then you've got nice, fun people.
Right.
And I need a new pencil. That's my points, really.
Do you need a case for the pencil to go in?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
We've got a nice little one with your face on it, and
with a zip.
Love you.
Oh, okay.
Zip.
Thanks a lot, Wanda. With a zip, yeah. Like Zippy out of Rainbow. You could keep your pencils in him. Or her, sexist. Quentin in Northamptonshire says, or Nottinghamshire rather, says, Nick, did you see that Sky News report featuring a retired teacher, now turned migrants hotel protester, who has a life-size cutout of Farage permanently standing and grinning in a conservatory? I didn't see the report, but I saw the story of the report. Yes. Teacher, you say? 0345 6060 973. Malvern. Hello, Judy.
Nick.
Judy.
Oh, hello, pet. Oh, you're having a hard time of it.
Am I?
I've come to raise the bar.
Go on.
Oh, well, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm trying to lift it anyway. I'm not saying well, two things. First thing, because somebody just mentioned that they really are upset, apparently, because, the nights draw in.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I just love winter. I think winter is the best.
No, it isn't. Nobody thinks that, Judy. That's just weird to say that out loud. Nobody thinks that winter is the best season.
Well, Judy Gibson does, and there's something of the night about me. I think it's warm and toasty and lovely.
Well, it is if you're warm and toasty and lovely, but blooming freezing. I almost got to the end of August without having to get out my woolen undergarments. Almost, but not quite.
Oh, dear. Well, anyway, I'm just a strange person. What I was going to mention was all these people. I think actually there was our roundabout had a Red Cross on it in Tewkesbury. Tewkesbury, as I call it.
Tewkesbury. That is a lovely name. That's Tewkesbury. I don't know. It's like it's like something out of a comedy sketch. It's like something that Victoria Wood would write into one of her sketches. Something definitely happened in Tewkesbury. Yes.
It was the Battle of Tewkesbury. It was very famous.
Oh yeah. When did that happen?
Oh, I can't remember.
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh, in the sort of well, I don't know. Anyway, they celebrate it. The Roundheads and the Flatheads. Every year.
How flat are their heads? Approximately.
Flatbreads and the Roundheads.
Right.
That's the one. They all dress up in armour and, and have a sort of pretend skirmish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, now, St. George, bless his cottontail. Are people aware that, the fact he was a Roman soldier, apparently, and he came from Greece, but he's also the patron saint of at least about another 5 countries.
Yeah. It's not ours, but because of our innate feelings of superiority, we make him ours.
Yes, but, that's just a bit dim-witted. I mean, apparently his remains are actually in Israel. And he's also Lebanon, Hungary. I mean, there's a list, which I know you hate lists, so I'm not going to go through it.
Thank you.
But suffice to say that I think when they're daubing this red cross, actually, they're being very multicultural.
Well, don't tell them that.
Oh, I think we should tell them. We should tell them. We should put it everywhere. Put it on every paper and say, "Do you realise that?" And then list all the Herzegovina. I can't say Herzegovina. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's another one.
Right.
St George. There's hundreds of them.
Well, just don't tell them that they're being multicultural, because that's about 4 syllables too much in the one word.
Yeah, I know. Morons. We're surrounded by
morons. Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Judy. Cheers, my dear. Soraya in Worksop says, the bruises on the dear leader's hand is because he's so popular that people want to shake his hand so many times. It must be true because Caroline Levitt says so. Caroline Levitt says so. President Trump said that President Trump has been very clear, that President Trump has been very clear. President Trump. That woman is a robot.
Affirmative.
She can't possibly be human. It just pours out of her. How is so much bile residing in one petite form? I've got no idea. Where did he find her? Brenda says, I'm a week late, but first off, merry birthday. So the big question is, do you think that Towley will make it out of Trump's bathroom? Well, this is South Park. The amount of money that South Park are making, those two guys, Matt and Trey, you'd think they would be able to hire writers that are actually funny, because I want it to be funny so badly, but it just really wasn't. The first one of this new series, there's been 3 so far, which is taking on Donald Trump. That was hilarious, the first one. And then the second 2 have been like, who cares? It's a cartoon. People will laugh anyway. But I didn't. I saw the third one today, and it started. I smiled maybe a couple of times, and then it ended. And I thought, is that it? Come on, try harder. Let's see now. Bath, Laura. Yes, Laura.
You having fun?
Yes, why not?
Oh, that's great. Back to school, I remember I was really excited to go back to school if I had a crush on someone. Were you like that when you were at school?
No.
Oh, yes, you were. Come on.
No, I wasn't.
Well, there have been several people that were like that about you, I'm sure.
Yeah, doubtful.
Was all that charisma oozing out of you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I had a radio show when I was in school, yeah.
What, like at secondary school?
No, I'm joking.
Oh. Well, that's believable for you, though. I can imagine you with your little radio show.
Well, I joined a university because they had a radio station. That's the only reason I went to that university.
I know. I read your Wikipedia page.
Oh, well, everything that's on there is a total lie. It's a fabrication. I'm suing. Got a tail, indeed. I do not.
No, you don't have one anymore.
I don't have a tail, no.
No, we don't have one anymore, according to Wikipedia. But actually, you've just said everything on there is a lie, so that must mean, by definition, that you have a tail.
I do have a tail.
You've grown one.
If it says I don't, then I do. Yeah, it's prehensile.
I had another question about men, if that's okay. Do you remember I called you a while ago and I asked a question about men?
No. But go on.
Yes. So why is it that human men don't court people the way that, like, male animals do? And I'm speaking to highlight 2 species that I think are really fab at that. Are spiders and birds. Like, they have colours, they do dances.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you guys doing that?
Well, I'm going to bat this back at you, Laura. I think that men don't do it because women aren't asking for it. They aren't.
I'm asking for it. You don't know.
No, they aren't demanding it. They aren't, demanding that the men all line up and do their little silly dance and, show off their colours, their bright attire. None of that. So I think men do what women demand of them in order to, get jiggy with it.
Will you sing?
Pardon?
Will you sing?
Will I sing?
Yeah.
Are you asking me to sing now?
Will you?
Say goodbye, Laura. 0345 6060 973. This says, I like Angela Rayner and I despise the Tories, but it looks a bit sus to say that your main residence is in Brighton when your constituency is in Ashton-under-Lyne in Greater Manchester. It may well be that she has peeps in Ashton to deal with constituents' queries, but it still looks terrible. Yeah, nothing about it looks very good, I'll agree. But it seems a bit much for the Tories to be accusing her of doing something that she shouldn't ought to. Because whatever she may or may not have done, it has been done 10 times as badly as people in the Conservative Party that we had to suffer under for 14 blooming years. And that's just true. Isn't it, Bodge?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
This is LBC. Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio, making a picture again.
It's a radio show, dear. This says, hey, Nick, have you seen the Grade A pandering directed at the Orange imbecile by his team? They all sit around a table in front of the press praising Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump. America is so much safer thanks to you, they say. And, ooh, Trump, you really deserve that Peace Prize, followed by applause. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's at least twice that's happened on camera. That they would do it on camera is excruciatingly embarrassing. Because the people that are around that table, I mean, the ones that aren't millionaires are billionaires. So they don't actually have to do it for the money, but they're doing it anyway. And they're praising a man who they must know is an idiot, because they've managed to, fashion all of that cash for themselves. So either they just got lucky, or they managed to find some way in which to use their skills, whatever they may be. But either way, they know that the stuff that's coming out of that man's mouth is imbecilic. And they're applauding him and praising him anyway, like it's North Korea. Absolutely astonishing. It really is. And that Trump just sits there and he just gets hosed down with flattery. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And that they would be so okay with that, to do it on camera. Perfectly fine with that, to get recorded and released into the world. Them just sucking up like you wouldn't believe. It's like it's a comedy. And Trump's just sitting there taking it like this is the most normal thing in the world. I mean, talk about selling your soul for what? Cash? More money? More money? A billionaire needs more money? £1 billion is 1,000 million. Imagine a pile of money that makes up £1 million. I've got no idea how much that would be, so I'll make it up. It would be a cube of £10 notes, at least 3 foot by 3 foot. A cube. Up to your waist in cash. That's $1 million. Now, imagine that 1,000 times. That's 1 billion. There's people around that desk with multiple billions, multiple thousands of millions of pounds, and they're praising an orange clown off the telly like he's the second coming of Jesus. It's just amazing what's happening over there. And he just waltzed in off the TV screen, a game show host, and took over the world's richest political party, and then took over the world's most powerful country easily. He didn't even break stride. Didn't even get into a jog. It was a piece of cake. No exercise required.
Exercising is fun and it's nice.
How would you know? Oldbury. Hello, Ranjit.
Hi, Nick. You all right, mate?
Yes, good, thanks.
Yeah. We're just following on from what you were just saying, right? Okay. All these people that are sucking up to him, well, what's going to happen in 3 weeks' time?
3 weeks?
When he's over here at Windsor Castle, our king, and everybody else is going to be doing the same thing. So
yes.
What's the difference? That means you and I are all sucking up to him because of our stupid leadership?
No, they don't. They don't suck up on my behalf.
No. We the people have voted Starmer in, right?
Yeah.
You know me, I'm a Labour supporter, right? And more what Labour are doing now, right? I mean, I've had that bet with Lee from Maidstone and yourself, yeah? That's, what's his name, Farage isn't going to get in. Everything Starmer's doing now is going to push Farage into power. And they're making loads and loads of mistakes, right? And if I can just, bounce these ideas off you, you know me, I used to be a union rep, yeah, for a massive logistics company, yeah? And the working rights weren't that good, but they weren't that bad. Now, as an employer, if I hire somebody today or when the new rules come in, and they're absolutely pathetic, I can't sack them. How can that be right?
And, you can't sack them. You must be able to sack them. Of course you can.
No, you can't. What they're saying is, if they can take me to an unfair dismissal and everything. You used to get 2 years before where me and you aren't compatible. You say, Ranjit, you know what? You're not very good or this, that and the other. I'm going to have to let you go. We won't be able to do that. People can...
if you're not good at your job, you are unsackable. I don't believe that.
No, that's the kind of rules they're bringing in Labour. Right?
Wait, Now, wait a minute. The kind of rules or the rule?
The rules, yeah. And the other thing is...
No rule that the Labour Party have brought in makes it impossible to sack somebody who's bad at their job.
Okay, we will now, right, let all the people... Because I've been listening to this now. Now, maybe I'm listening too much to the right-wing press, yeah? I don't know, because I think I have half a brain, okay? Now, the other thing is, I'm going to have to pay sick pay from day one. Right, if somebody comes in working for me, before I used to be able to claim that money back from the government, the Tories have stopped that. So all these things are going against the poor people because I would be afraid to hire somebody for that. Now, this thing that they're going to put NI on rental income, who's going to pay ultimately for it? The renters, not these landlords, not the greedy landlords, right? So these things, these Labour Party, they're too afraid to go after the rich people, and they need to go after these big companies that are raping our country every day.
Right. Well,
right?
they've got moves afoot to do just that. But every time they suggest taxing somebody who's got a bit of money, then the lobbyists for that group of people, they throw their hands in the air and they tell us that it will ruin our lives if we try to go after their money.
Well, in the thing is, Nick, right, if I base my company overseas, right, and 99% of the sales that I pick up in this country are expenses and only 1% is profit, they need to stop that loophole for a start. They should do a sales tax, right, and to these companies. Yes, I agree, ultimately the people in the shops will have to pay for it, but you'll stop all these companies taking all that money abroad. And the tech bros, tax them, right? So,
yeah, but the problem with taxing the tech bros is that they've given a lot of money to Donald Trump, and he will act very decisively against any nation that tries to impede their ability to make more money than God.
Well, I'm from Indian origin, yeah? India and China have always been at war, virtually, yeah? But the thing is, they've got brains now, and they are colluding together to do business, because they don't want to go to war, right?
Well, what's that going to do with us?
No, it has, because we buy all our stuff from China and India. Right? What do we actually buy from America? Tech.
Yeah, tech, that's right. Tech.
And weapons.
Booze, clothes.
No, there's not that many. And the clothes are actually made in Asia because all these companies use the cheap labour.
Right.
Donald Trump now, right, he's at the point that he's going to get unstuck, right? And the thing is, in 3 weeks' time, when he comes to this country and has his ice cream and dinner with the king, after that, he's going to say to us, like, stick two fingers up to us, and he's going to nail us right down to the ground like he's doing to everybody else. And what Starmer should do is say, sorry, Donny, the king's not very well. We'll call you next year in September. And then next year in September, say, sorry, the king's sick. We'll call you the year after.
That's just an idiotic thing to say, Ranjit. No. We trade with America more than any other country in the world. I mean, we trade with the EU more than any other entity, right enough, but America is our biggest trading partner as an individual country.
there might be, right, but then what the Liberals are saying at the moment, we need to have a coalition with the rest of the world, because, you know, I've had family over last weekend, right, from Canada, because we had a big family wedding. And they're in Canada, they are really struggling by what Donald Trump's doing to them. And again, you might think I'm contradicting myself, that he might do the same to us.
Yeah.
But we don't hold the cards. What do we actually own in this country then, Nick?
What do we own in this country? You're after me giving you a list now.
Do we own the water? Do we own the
No, we don't own anything. The Tories have sold the family silver and the commode in which we were keeping it.
Yeah, and Labour needs to reverse that, right? And how they're going to do it, I don't know.
That's an incredibly long thing to do, to try to untangle yourself from your biggest trading partner, as we found out to our cost with this mad Brexit thing that we're still suffering from. And now we're going to do it again to another of our major trading partners. It just can't be. So we're going to have to try and make it work. And if that requires us to kiss Donald Trump's giant orange bottom, then that's what we're going to have to do. You know, Keir Starmer doesn't want to have to do that. I'm quite sure of it. And I'm pretty sure that the King isn't looking forward to his dinner date with him either. But, you know, it's Donald Trump's world now, and we're living in it, because unlike any president in the past, he's prepared to use America, its consumers, not the American military might. It's not that. I mean, that's been used before by presidents, the American military might. But none of them have used the American consumer as a weapon. The very people who voted for him. No president in my recollection has ever been so dismissive of the people that voted for him that he will throw them under a bus in order to get what he personally wants. And that's that man. He'll do it. He will make the American consumer pay way more for any goods as long as it will affect some country that he's trying to get to jump one way or the other, like he's doing to us and to the EU and to Brazil and everywhere else that has slighted him in some way. So, yeah, we've got to do that. And Keir Starmer has picked the short straw, and that's his job now, sucking up to that man. God. What a way to run a planet, eh? Thanks, Ranjit.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Yeah!
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
Well, that would be a turn up for the books if the Supreme Court actually got involved and overturned Donald Trump's demented tariffs regime. But, you know, they won't, because he's been he handpicked them, and the right-wingers outnumber the few left-leaning judges on the panel, so it ain't going to happen. But it would be pretty disastrous to his little scheme if he had to give all of that tariff money back, and he'd be giving it back to the American people, essentially. Actually, if he gave the money back, then the importers of the goods from outside the country, they would be the ones to get the money back, and the importers are not going to give the American people their money back. That's not going to happen. So he would have just essentially enacted a massive wealth transfer from the ordinary American consumer to the importers of goods, who will be so happy they could hardly count. But, in the meantime, small businesses are facing crippling charges as Donald Trump ends an exemption for imports to the US. This is his ongoing economic war against this country. The US president signed an executive order last month ending the tax exemption on low-value parcels, which comes into effect today. I mean, it could have been an executive order, or it could have been the cocktail menu at the last Hooters megachurch he was in. He has no idea what he's signing. And this exemption has allowed businesses to ship parcels to the US under $800 value threshold without paying any duties on imports, which is a good thing. And lots of the businesses in this country rely on that, because America has this massive middle class who've got more money than they know what to do with. In 2021, goods worth $5 billion were shipped from the UK to the US under the exemption. That's according to the British Chambers of Commerce, the vast majority of which was clothing. We patriotically made clothing that the Americans wanted in size extra hefty, and we posted it to them, and they gratefully received it without having to pay any customs charges. And everything was working just fine. But now Donald Trump appears to have declared economic war on us. You know, even though he was strutting around proclaiming what a huge and tremendous trade deal he'd signed with us in Great Britain land. Well, it doesn't appear to be doing us any good. And this rule that is just thrown out allowed small UK businesses to send single, low-value items without having to deal with a load of paperwork. And it could spell disaster for small businesses in the UK. The tariffs scam is like a hippopotamus barging into a market which had been doing great business for hundreds of years, and the hippo upends everything for something to eat and then calls it a plan. And we got a tariff deal that was a baseline 10% on everything. And we're celebrating that as a great win because, you know, other countries had a higher tariff. Which is just another way of demonstrating that we've been twisting ourselves to recognise weird things as normal. And I suppose it's a survival mechanism. Because otherwise we just get overwhelmed with weirdness. It's not a win, the baseline 10%. It's just not as bad as it could have been. Everything we export to America is going to cost the Americans 10% more than it used to, upending a system that worked for everyone. I mean, it worked for America. America is the richest country on earth. The average American is about 30% better off than we are. We aren't exactly ripping America off. But this painted clown wants to tax the American public with this massive sales tax, which is effectively what the tariffs are. We don't pay the tariff that's slapped on our exports. The Americans pay it when they import it. And then they put up the price on the shelves. So our goods now have to compete with goods from America or other countries that are cheaper than ours. And late entry on the Trump bingo card of doom, I think he will take that little bit of extra money that he's taken from the consumer and give it back to them as a cheque with his face on. A small amount of what he's taken. And I bet it's a cheque, by the way, not a direct bank payment, because you can't print his face on a bank transfer. So he's going to be posting out cheques. I betcha, betcha, betcha. That's what this is all about. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Giving the mouth-breathing, toothless dinglings that are his fan base another reason to vote for Big Daddy, assuming they aren't bright enough to realise they're being had, which is a pretty safe assumption. I mean, and we get to join in the misery, making us all the poorer because of it.
I make $400 million a year, so what difference does it make?
And as usual, with a dingling dementor, confusion is the order of the day, and that's not an accident either. Gifts worth less than $100 remain duty-free. Other parcels sent to the US will face a charge or a 10% tariff paid by the seller when paying for postage. You understand it so far? Last week, the Royal Mail said it would suspend deliveries to the US until it had a system in place to comply with the new rules. Even the Royal Mail doesn't understand it, and they've been doing this for 500 years. And, of course, all this was going to be on top of the extra cost to British business caused by that other rule change brought to us by people who are acting against the interests of this country. How's Brexit going, by the way?
Brexit's going great.
Glad to hear it, Nige. Glad to hear you've managed to break the seal on the vapour lock your lips had on Donald Trump's backside. I'm surprised you could actually find room on his backside, what with all the other people who were puckered up and locked on. But I suppose there is a lot of room, it being a very large backside. Room for all. 0345 6060 973. Regent's Park. Hello, Vance. Vance? Is there anybody out there? Too late. Somerset. John.
Hello, Nick.
John.
Nick, this is a brilliant programme this evening. I love your analysis of events.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Trump bingo card?
Yes.
Why were you giggling then?
Well, this is going off in my brain right now.
Warning!
Yes.
No, seriously, I have no material. I escaped from number 65. You know, the in the shed with Cameron and the tools.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. You were the fellow who hired out an Airbnb room, and it turned out to be a shed.
That's correct.
Which you were sharing with David Cameron.
I think this is nonsense.
That's correct. It could have been worse. It could have been a great big news story with what's his face. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, I escaped from that. But the bingo thing, the Trump bingo thing, right? You know, you think that he's going to carry on and try to have a third term.
Yes.
You might be right, of course, but I think that he won't get a third term as president, but he will try everything to get one. And when it doesn't happen, he will carry on calling himself President Trump.
Well, they all do that. I mean, since you've been president, you're always president. I mean, because I've heard them talk to other presidents of the past, and they still call them president.
I know that that's like the convention, but he will mean it. And I think it... Yeah.
Yeah, he'll still be trying to run the world from his gilded taco Rama palace in Florida. Yeah.
That's correct. And he will take the nuclear football with him and the nuclear basketball.
Mm.
But I think he'll do this as well. He'll have a TV program. So at the moment he's got Truth Social and all that, but he'll set up a TV station where he talks to the American people as Mr. President, and the dinglings will go, "We love Mr. President. We want Trump. We want President Trump," and he will go on believing that he's president.
Well, that is entirely possible. What is also possible is that he will declare a state of emergency and cancel the election, so he won't have to win another election. He'll just continue.
I think you might be right there, but the other thing is, when you see the way he sits, when he's sat opposite someone like, I don't know, an interviewer or whatever,
slumps.
He always Sorry, I beg your pardon?
He slumps. It's like his shoulders touch his knees. He's so slumpy.
He does slump, and I don't want to introduce lavatorial humour.
Oh.
But he always looks as though he's in a state of emergency himself.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Perhaps. Now, Angela Rayner, I have to talk about this. I remember when James O'Brien interviewed Angela Rayner about 3 years ago, about 2 years before the general election.
Yeah.
She gave a very frank and candid interview. It was brilliant. But she talked about her humble beginnings and being a single mother and all this. And I remember saying to people at the time, the Tories and the right-wing press will go after her. And I think that that's what's happening now, is that because of her humble beginnings and this, that, the other. But I honestly believe, I don't think any of it will land, because I think that most of the British public actually quite like her.
I don't think it matters whether it lands or not. I don't think it matters whether it's true or not. All they have to do is to keep saying things like this, to keep implying that she's done something wrong, to take something that the Tories had done 1,000 times worse and make a big play of clutching their pearls and going into a Victorian fainting fit at the very idea of what she's done next. That's all they have to do. Just keep that up. And the people, I don't have any faith in the British public at all, or any other public. It's not just British, the human race. I don't have any faith in the human race at all. They are easily led. And if you can give them something to hate, something that will make them feel better about the way their lives turned out, to blame somebody other than the people who are actually making them miserable, which are, their employers or the people who have drained the money out of their local area, the people who have, collapsed the services that they rely on and all of that, then that's all to the good for the people who are doing that. And they are easily persuaded. You just have to keep saying that she's wrong, and people will believe it.
Depressingly, I agree with you. But do you remember Eric Pickles, by the way, the Tory? He was deputy leader of the Tory party when the expenses scandal broke, whenever that was, about 15 years ago. Do you remember him?
I do remember Eric Pickles, and I remember Jeremy Clarkson drawing 2 dots on his thumb and saying, "Who's that then?" and that was Eric Pickles.
Well, do you remember though his infamous Question Time performance?
No, I don't watch Question Time. I just can't stand. I just can't stand it. I won't. I will not watch it.
It was actually good back in the day because Eric Pickles kebabbed himself, which takes some doing. But what he was talking about the expenses thing, and you know the business of MPs having a second home.
Yeah.
And they can claim for a second home.
Right.
And he said, what you people don't understand is that it was like, get back down, Pitt, I'm one of the rulers of the country. He said, what you people don't understand, he said, is that the House of Commons runs like clockwork. And he said, I have to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's why I have a second home allowance. And everyone in the audience started laughing because they were going, well, we're doctors and nurses and teachers and this, and he made an absolute fool of himself.
But
he literally...
Yes, okay, well, I believe that. But, doctors and nurses, they will have a home where they work, within commuting distance to where they work. It is reasonable to expect somebody taking on what is probably a temporary job to have a home near work, but also to keep a place to stay near where they're supposed to be representing the interests of their constituents. So I don't think we should get too disapproving about that, because how are they going to live in two places, which is a requirement of the job? So I get that, but then, there's all sorts of, did you follow all of the rules and regulations? And, so that will come of that.
I agree, but I've been in Clacton with my Fisher-Price binoculars and I haven't seen hide nor hair of Mr. Farage.
Not yet. Well, happy hunting. And as soon as you spy him, I want you to let me know straight away, all right?
I will. I'll keep my eyes and ears open.
Thanks a lot, John.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
He is a very sick and dangerous man.
I think I may have played that already, which is further indication that I am a sick, if not dangerous, man. This says, a very, very angry texter says, Nick, if you really think that now is the best time to live, where were you in the 1970s and 80s? Now we can't afford housing, we can't afford food, we've got a lousy government, we've got bills going through the roof, we have a country inundated with people that we don't even know who they are. Well, the list is just about endless. Healthcare, yes, if you want to wait years for an appointment. I know a member of the family who has had a suspected heart problem diagnosed, but will have to wait until September next year to be seen by a specialist. Well, hope it's not too late, stop. so that's a telegram. Stop. Well, I'll tell you where I was in the 1970s and the 1980s. I was here in Great Britain land, and it was worse. I mean, I don't recall being able to afford to buy a house then. I mean, no doubt they were cheaper. Yes, some things are cheaper, some things are more expensive. We can't afford food. Well, there were people who couldn't afford food in the 1970s and 80s. If you look at a TV programme of the 70s and 80s, it's absolutely remarkable what a state the place was in. I mean, much of London was still a bomb site in the 1970s. People used to take a bath once a week, whether they needed it or not. And as for people being inundated with people that we don't even know, well, I'm afraid that has always been the case. We've always said we're full. So I'm not taking that. And we had a lousy government. Well, I give you Margaret Thatcher, Ted Heath. And healthcare is better now than it used to be. I mean, yes, more difficult to get an appointment, but, the advance in medical technology has seen outcomes improve since the 1970s. What you mean is that in the 1970s and 80s, you were young, so you enjoyed yourself more. You spent more time going out doing the disco dancing and less time poring over news websites, just subsuming yourself in the misery of it all. That's what you mean. This says the bitter orange one came up with a new name for himself this week, President of Europe. Apparently that's what we like to call him over here. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of very important people are coming up to him and saying, Sir. Regent's Park, let's try Vance again. Yes, Vance.
Hello, Nick.
There you are.
I really enjoy your shows. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Tonight's show has been especially wonderful for me because your assistant, or, the lady who takes the phone calls, she said, hello, JD. Yes, hi, JD. And I said, I'm not JD, I'm Vance. And she said, yes, JD, yeah. I said, no, I'm Vance Hall from Regent's Park. And then she twigged that I was not the American vice president.
Right.
And she sounded really disappointed.
Well, I very much doubt that the American vice president would ever call this show.
Exactly, I suppose so. I just wanted to make two comments, Nick. The Queen didn't very often comment on sort of current affairs or politics or so, but
no.
Do you remember she was opening a new building at the Institute of Economics, I think, maybe at LSE, and she, just before she cut the ribbon, she had clearly been talking about the financial crisis, the financial crash, and she very famously said, just before she cut the ribbon, why did nobody see this coming? Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
And it was all over the front pages for about a week, actually.
I tell you why they didn't see it coming, because they didn't want to, because they were all making too much money.
Yep, absolutely. But that simple question really got headlines for a couple of weeks afterwards. And I quite admired the Queen for that. She didn't meddle, but when she felt strongly about something, she'd just ask a sentence or two, and it was picked up.
One time. That one time, and she also wore a hat in the colours of the EU flag. That's it.
That's it, yes, I agree. Another thing that I was considering, Nick, the appearance of this bruise on Trump's hand, his hand or his arm. Last week or the week before, we were told his foot had swollen up. Was that right? Something like that. Mm-hmm. These are typical symptoms of old age. As you age, your skin gets thinner, dramatically thinner, and just a mild bump on your hand will produce a modern bruise. Yeah. It happened to my mum. It happened to my dad as well. And this guy's body is just giving up.
I don't think there doesn't seem to be any indication of that. I do believe that he has signed a deal with the devil and he's going to live forever. But that hand thing, that's what happens. I mean, it could be a bruise, right enough. But when you get one of those cannulas stuck in the vein of your hand, then it does leave a bruise afterwards, because you puncture it in with a needle and then it bleeds a little bit inside, and so that's probably what that is. He was getting some sort of intravenous drug of some sort, I bet you.
Yeah, perhaps. But this leads me to my third point. I'm not so sure that he wants to run another, put himself up for re-election, because hasn't his eldest son hinted at the possibility of him walking into his dad's shoes?
His idiot son? No way. He's going to skip over Uday and Kusei and give it straight to Lurch, who has got something of the dark side about him. But he ain't going to give up power. I mean, which dictator voluntarily gives up power to anybody? No one. Name one.
Exactly, yeah. But I think he might well be, planning on having one of his family succeed him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In the fullness of time, yeah. But he's going to build and if they're saying it's going to be a $200 million ballroom, then you can be quite sure that it'll be a $400 million ballroom, and no one's going to build something like that and then leave it to somebody else. So he ain't going nowhere. And there's not going to be another election. I betcha he's going to call a state of emergency. And, that would be the nuclear option. The other option is to ban mail-in voting. I mean, he keeps going on about this. Why? I mean, he used to be for mail-in voting, and now he's against it. Because mostly Democrats are the ones that have mail-in votes. And it's mostly poor people who have mail-in votes because they can't take a day off work and drive 100 miles and queue all day in the baking hot sun to cast their vote. They can't do that. Poorer people can't do that. And so if you take away mail-in voting, then you're going to take a lot of people who would vote for Trump's opposition away. And then, here comes the crucial part, he's making people get used to the presence of ICE agents, these masked goons of his, of indeterminate identity with their unmarked vans. And he's going to station them outside polling stations. And he'll have them just pull people at random out of the crowd, out of the queue to cast their vote, and put them in vans and take them away. And once that gets on the news, then people aren't going to come out and vote. So he will win either just by not having an election at all and just carrying on, or by that method.
Gosh, that sounds dreadful, doesn't it? And you're convinced that the American Constitution is not strong enough to resist this?
Well, how's it doing so far?
So far, but, we still have nearly 3 more years to go, and, by then he'll be 82, and he might be a bit wonky. Let's hope he is.
In the future, he might be a bit wonky. Well, I think that the future has arrived. The future is happening sooner than you think, Lance.
The future is now.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, you're living it. All right, thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, he might get a bit wonky, but how would you be able to tell? It says tell Laura to go to a nightclub. She will see men wearing pink shirts dancing around like idiots. What's pink shirts got to do with it? Tessa says, I think you have a point. Men in red or salmon pink trousers do not appeal to most women. Where's this come from? Did I say something about pink trousers and shirts? What did I say?
I mean, you kind of said, I think that, if I remember correctly, which I may not, but women aren't very attracted to them or something like that, or they're just not very nice.
Pink?
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't recall that either. I didn't say anything about pink clothes. Why would I say something about pink clothes? Who wears pink? Well, that's a mystery. I should listen to this show more. Maybe I might learn something.
Leading Britain's conversation. Nick Abbot. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Please hold the line. I'm trying to connect you.
Yes, at the moment I am trying to connect Judy in Belsize Park. Judy.
Hello.
Yes, Judy.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the phone call that somebody made just a little while ago about all this rubbish with Angela Rayner and the houses and who lives where and who's got what expenses and everything.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a government-provided house in each constituency, so regardless of who's in, who's out, that house goes to the local MP. Then when that MP is voted out, the next one moves in. And so nobody gets into problems with their rates and their rents and their heating and their allowances and everything. There is just a house provided.
Yeah.
And maybe in London there could be like a block of flats where people who don't live in or very near London, they could live in there when they have to come to London. Then none of them can be on the fiddle. none of them could be claiming for heating and lighting and rates and rents and all of that.
It would cost a heck of a lot to buy 650 houses, though.
But it would be a lot cheaper than what's going on now.
I'm not sure that's true.
Well, have you added up all the figures that they're all putting in for all their various expenses?
Yes, and my associate will explain that in full.
And two, 6 million.
So those are three numbers, at least. And that's a fact.
In the long run, wouldn't that pay?
The long run. The long run. No one's interested in the long run, Judy. We're interested in right now. In the long run, yeah, that does make sense.
Well, as I'm just putting it forward as an idea. And I don't remember anything about men in pink trousers either.
No, where did that come from?
I don't know, but I'm like you. I don't listen to the programme while I'm listening.
We should pay attention more, Judy. You never know, we might learn something.
Oh, I have your programme on all the time.
Oh, sure.
But I don't. Maybe I'm not listening either. But maybe somebody else can remember.
Yeah, you turn it on, but you don't listen. No, that makes perfect sense.
And can I also mention something that I didn't mention to your lovely assistant?
And
that
another
I have mentioned to you twice.
Yes.
And I have no vested interest in it. The book, America's 51st State, which has another Donald in the year 2060 taking over as president, having gone right through the whole Donald Trump children.
Yeah.
And him also serving a third term. And the book was published in 2019.
Huh. Well, the answer, if you're asking me if am I going to read it, then the answer...
I know you're not going to do homework.
Is
I know
no.
that.
Yeah. I'm not going to dip myself in the misery of Trump's story. I just won't. I'll do it for this, but I'm not going to do it on my on my time off. I want to relax on my time off. I want to have happy, nice times. Why can't I be happy?
But it is weird. It was written in 2019, and it's everything it's predicted is coming true.
Yeah. Well, mark my words, either America will not have another election, or it will play out exactly as I just explained, that he will station ICE agents outside polling booths. They'll take people from the queue, bundle them away in vans, and then those queues over the entire country will disappear. And the mail-in votes thing is so that he will suppress the vote from those who would ordinarily vote Democrat.
Isn't it depressing?
Well, it's amazing, really, that American journalists aren't taking this seriously. It's like I said, I talk to them on Sundays, and I almost want to, like, if they weren't 3,000 miles away, I'd lean over and shake them. Wake up! It's a coup.
But I don't understand. There's something like 300 million people in America. How did they pick him?
Well, they had two choices, and the other one was a woman, so that's right out. No, they couldn't, and she was a black woman, so that's double right out. Couldn't have her.
Yeah. Maybe I'll talk to you about something cheerful next time.
I shall look forward to that, Judy. And the best of luck with trying to find it. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. Lee says the only reason some people are picking on Angela Rayner is because she is a ginger. A lot of the nation are gingerist, and it's not on. We are going to take over the world with Ed Sheeran and Halliday Granger as our leaders. What do you think? Well, I think I've no idea who Halliday Granger is. Who's Halliday Granger? Nobody knows. Andrea in Derby says, I've spent a fair bit of time in Italy. The school summer holidays there are 3 months long.
What?
3 months. With childcare being so expensive, some parents working in lower paid jobs are making next to nothing. But they do get to wake up in Italy every day. So, yeah, so there's that. Yeah, wouldn't that be marvellous to wake up in Italy every day? Where the houses are painted those 5 specific pastel colours. And everything looks just as lovely today as it did in the 1930s. when film stars were zipping about the coast in open-top Fiat Spiders, looking so sophisticated. Oh, there's a picture of Halliday Granger. Who's that? An actor.
Well, she's an actress.
What's she been in?
Honest to God, nothing I've heard of. I don't know how this person is finding out. So I'm looking at her Wikipedia, and I'm just thinking, I watch lots of TV, I watch lots of films, and heard of none of this.
None of them.
None of them.
No, we don't know who you are, Halliday Granger. I don't know who you think you're kidding. That's unreasonable, isn't it? That was an outburst, and I apologise. I'm just really, really upset about that whole Halliday Granger issue. That's all. It says, "Hi Nick, have you heard that the teenager moonlighting as Warwickshire County Council on behalf of the Union flag covered or..." Well, it's not my fault. It's the way it's written. From the top, "Hi Nick, have you heard the teenager moonlighting as Warwickshire County Council..." What, all of it? "On behalf of the Union flag-covered snake oil salesman is against parents vaccinating their kids. What could possibly go right? Maybe we should just strip the warning labels off all medicines and let evolution take care of it." I don't know who that is that you're talking about. The teenager, presumably you mean moonlighting as Warwickshire County Council's leader on behalf of the Union flag-covered snake oil salesman. Hands in the air, yes?
So, who they're referring to is a man called George Finch, who's a 18 or 19-year-old.
19 years old.
He's the leader of Warwickshire Council.
Wow. And the best of luck to all who sail in it. What could possibly go wrong? And if it does go wrong, will he go to his room and slam the door? That's the question I want answered. I'm just asking questions. Been waiting the longest. I'll be totally fair about this. Let's see now. Glossop. Richard.
Evening, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, good, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the call. Full disclosure, I'm married to a redhead from Ashton-under-Lyne.
Is it Halliday Granger?
No, it's Nicola Grundy, my wife.
Ah.
Now, talking about the Angela Rayner issue, two big questions. Mr. Farage, very rarely seen in Clacton. He's always either over the Atlantic with Mr. Trump or, putting flags up lampposts. Two questions, though, about Angela Rayner. She's declared that her main residence is this new property in Hove. Now, my daughter went to Brighton University, and we drive from near Ashton down there. It's 4 hours away by car. So how can she be in the constituency if her main residence is in Hove?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I've got no idea what her living arrangements in her constituency are, but, houses are available there. She could rent one, couldn't she?
Oh, no. She sold a house which was portrayed by the right-wing press as leafy broad oak in Ashton. That does a lot of heavy lifting. Ashton is an old mill town. The second question is, she made £40,000 on the sale of the home in Ashton. She makes about £150,000 as a cabinet minister, which she's been in position for a year. Before that, she'd be on an MP salary of £90,000.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's divorced. Her partner, I believe, is a spad within the Labour Party. How's she got a mortgage for £800,000?
I don't know. That does sound like an insult, doesn't it? He's a spad. Right.
Well,
just to be clear,
all best intentions.
Yeah, to be clear, it's not an insult. Yes, it's a description of what he does for a living.
He's a special political advisor. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, maybe she will explain all of the questions to your contentment. I've got no idea. I know as much about it as you do.
Cheers, Nick. Thanks a lot.
Oh, that it? Okay, all right. Good work. Thanks a lot, mate. He was just looking for, a little bit of information. I said, you won't get it. He said, by hook or by crook, we will. And then we got into a whole numbers thing. I am not a number. I'm a free man. I could definitely watch that again. Let's see now. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi, good evening, Nick.
Yes, Jan.
How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Good. Nick, I was calling about Melania, and I thought what she's been doing, and it's just that she's been in touch with Alina Zelensky. Vladimir, Zelensky's wife. They've been in touch, and Zelensky's wife wrote to her, thanking her for raising the problem of the missing children.
Right.
The children that were abducted by Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how I think was it something like nearly 20,000 children had been removed, but then Russia says they're saving them from the war zone.
Yeah, sure they are.
1,000 or about 1,500 have been returned.
Are
but
they?
They're still missing.
Yeah.
And Melania's even written to Putin about the children.
That's what I heard. I decided not to believe it at the time, but okay.
She wrote to him saying that he would serve humanity if he anyway.
If they give the kids back to their parents, for crying out loud. How difficult is that? Yeah, stop being so blooming evil for a while.
But did you read? But coming back to another point about her, because you often mentioned that how Russia put those pictures of Melania out.
Yeah.
Of her, without anything on.
I think it was the day. Either it was the day of the election or it was the day of Trump getting sworn in. Can't remember which, but it was a very important day for Donald Trump. And the Russian state media, the news program, put naked pictures of Donald Trump's current wife.
Were they genuine?
Were
they genuine? Because she's written a memoir. Her memoir came out. Did you hear about her memoir?
Melania has written a memoir. I bet she. I'm going to go ahead and assume that she didn't, and that somebody else wrote it for her.
No, she wrote it. She's honestly quite bright. She's got her own views as well. She although she's behind her husband now, for her youngest son, I think it's for her young Baron. She's got the youngest son she has is Baron. He's now an adult, and she's trying to secure things for him. But she's supporting her husband.
Is she?
But she doesn't agree with him about like women's rights, abortion.
Right.
And she's also defended her right to do nude photographs. So she's obviously. She was a model, so she's saying it's her body, but she can do if she wants to do these nude photos.
Yeah, but what's this all about though, Jan? You just called in to sing her praises?
No, I haven't. I've got a criticism because I don't want to do any. I mean, we're all trying to keep up happy, while there's some really shocking news going on in the world.
Yeah.
But what upsets me about what she's saying is that she's just concentrating on the children there, but whereas there's other children in the world that actually they've got a blind spot. It seems like the world has a blind spot about the children in Gaza. I don't want to speak about the sad things there, but it is quite shocking, and no one's really taking it up. Even the main press are leaving out one of the most tragic aspects of that war about the children. And you only have to look.
I'm not sure that they are.
Yeah, they are. But no one will mention it, and I don't want to mention it now. Friday evening, and upset everyone.
And yet you have. I don't think that news reports on the television are leaving out the part about the children. I think they're actually concentrating on that.
Do you want me to say what it is? Look at the winning. Look at the world press photograph that won the first prize of it.
What's that got to do with it?
I didn't want to see it. It's for me.
The world press photo.
The world press photograph that won the first category of it.
Right.
It's exhibited in somewhere far out in London somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's
far out.
online.
Is it somewhere far out?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking I want to see the exhibition. but I don't, actually, because it's so far away.
No.
Warning!
Do not see the International Photographers News, the World Press Awards photograph, because I've seen that exhibition several times, and it is not a happy experience. Because the photographs that get praise, the photographs that get presents and prizes, and that get mentioned by your international viewing panel, it's all misery. I mean, that's what the news is. I mean, I like going to photographic exhibitions, but I did not like to go to that one. In fact, I've stopped going because there's nothing pleasant about it. It's just one horrible story after the next. But, that's what the news is, Jan. Get your face out the news. Try and be HAPPY for whatever brief period we've all got left on this planet. But anyway, thanks for that. Andrea in Derby says, I've spent a fair bit of time in Italy in the school. No, wait, that's waking up in Italy part. Oh, it's a little happy thought. Back with a happy thought. Waking up in Italy. God, wouldn't that be marvellous? View over the lake to the snow-capped mountains beyond. Oh. Andrew in Stroud Green says, I think Trump's state banquet is something I'm looking forward to, seeing how near or far from Trump are seated Truss and Farage, and with whom else. Does that make sense? Truss isn't going to go. Why would she go?
I'm genuinely unclear.
Yeah, I'm unclear. Why would she get invited? And why would Farage get invited? He's got nothing to do with the government. It's the government is going to be sucking up to Donald Trump. Not a list of has-beens and wannabes. It says, I heard him saying that Washington was the most dangerous hellhole in America. Then he said he had cleaned it up and made it safe in 4 days. 4 days. Yeah. I got a list of the top 10 murder states in America. Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, New Mexico, Tennessee, Arkansas, South Carolina, Missouri, and Maryland and Georgia. That is the top 10 states by murder rate. And 8 out of 10 of them are Republican states. If you're thinking about going to America on holiday, and I would strongly advise against it, then don't go to a state that voted Republican for fear of getting shot while you try to negotiate your way out of the airport and to the car rental place. You'll have to run in a crouched position. Yeah, it's not the Democrat states that are the problem. It's the Republican states, and also, by the way, the states with the least educational attainment, also Republican states. The ones who vote for Donald Trump.
I love the poorly educated.
That's right. This says. Did you hear Ed Davey of LBC fame and other things was invited by His Majesty to a dinner with him a Trump? Ed politely declined. Some of that made sense, yeah. I have detailed files on that, and I'm running out of time. So I'll probably among the things that I will be bringing to you this evening. Forthcoming attractions. Isn't that exciting?
No.
Tasmania. Martin.
Nick, hello.
Martin.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. I'm a bit discombobulated because I was listening to your birthday show last night in the shed, and 65, I believe, and I'd just like to say that the next 5 years go even quicker, if that's any help.
Right. I've just
moving on.
Yeah, hang on a sec. I know that you're calling from the furthest point away on the planet without getting into a rocket and blasting off into space. But can I ask you to pause for 1 minute and I'll be right back?
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Come on, we're running late.
Yes, back to Tasmania. Sorry about that, Martin.
Phew. No, it's okay. I'll forgive you.
Go ahead.
There was a couple of things you did a while ago, actually, newspaper headlines, and I thought of two really good ones, which sprang to mind, but I didn't get around to phoning you. One of them was in the 70s or the 80s, a public library in Essex was running short of books, and the headline in the paper was "Book Lacking Hunger." Which
that's pretty good.
But a lot of people might not get that.
Yeah, I like that.
And just before we yeah, it gets funnier the more you think about it. Actually, there was another one just before we emigrated. There was an outbreak of foot and mouth because we lived in North Wales and we were quite in the centre of it. But I noticed in the Republic of Ireland they were getting really worried. So the headline, they were thinking of shutting the borders, and the headline was "Close Era."
Close
so Era. That was quite saying Era. You know, Era used to be the name for Ireland.
Yeah.
In the days of Close Era, to close the borders.
But I don't get it though.
Never mind.
Close Era.
Close Era, because Close Era. Yeah, two meanings. You know, it's a closed era that you dry clothes on. And close era to stop the border.
Clothes era. Got it. Right. No, I preferred the first one.
Yeah, sorry.
Book Lacking Hunger.
Didn't have the
That's
impact.
funny. No, it didn't, no. So, North Wales, Tasmania, what's the difference?
Well, I'm looking at snow on the mountains, actually, right now. I'm sitting in a chair looking out the window and there's snow on the mountains.
Huh.
So from that point of view, not as much as you get in North Wales, but...
Is it a very, very expensive place to be? Because you'd have to import everything from millions of miles away.
No, it's not too bad, actually. You know, where you can live a reasonable life.
And why'd you go to Tasmania? I mean, you literally couldn't have gone any further in any direction.
Well, we actually lived in Cairns for a while, so it was a bit of a change to come down here.
Right.
But, you know, getting old and slower pace of life, and we get the four seasons and all that. And it's beautiful mountains and beaches and things. Yeah.
And your old life in Rill, well, it can't follow you all the way down there. Right, on the run, I understand.
Well, I would have said Prestatyn more than Rill.
Right. Prestatyn is a little bit more upmarket than Rill. You are quite right, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Even if you come from Rill, you just kid on that you come from Prestatyn, yeah.
Well, we were actually in Llanber-Tallaghern. Big shout out to the people there.
That's easy for you to say, Martin. I wouldn't even attempt it. I'd probably kill myself if I tried to spell it. And finally...
Another quick one. And finally, Nick, you upset me a bit because I'm a Steel Ice Band fan.
Oh, yeah.
Or I was.
All around my hat.
I believe you're not too enthralled with them.
Well, you know, they had one hit. It was all right.
David Bowie played saxophone on one of their songs.
Was it All Around My Hat? No.
No, it was on their album Now We Are Six. They did a version of To Know Him Is To Love Him, the old Goffin King song.
Right.
And David Bowie came in at the end and played out on the saxophone.
Well, I am shocked and stunned.
Produced by Ian Anderson. Right. Ian Anderson.
Well, that sounds like homework that I would actually enjoy looking up. Thanks for that, Martin. 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 Thanks for that, Martin.